this is Tentamon from Digimon. Make sure you subscribe to Dimsy's Domain.
Before I get started with my review, let me quickly go over some Digimon news that came out recently. There is a new Digimon card game being released internationally from January 2021, so all you Digimon fans around the world will be loving this new game being released. And on a side note, I haven't watched Kizuna yet, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have already watched Kizuna, but if you guys want me to review Kizuna, please comment down below, because I know a lot of you guys have already watched it. Now with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. Our old enemy Kuwagomon, Tokyo in Total Chaos, Okuwamon's Rampage, and Megakabuterimon's Hornbuster. These are the headlines coming out of this week's episode of Digimon, the King of Insects Clash. So let's look at the good, the bad, and the straight up ugly from this week's episode of Digimon Adventure 2020. Let's start off with the good. And spoiler alert, this episode is another excellent episode, so there's going to be a whole lot of good points for this episode. We start off with some comedy with Joe telling Matt to come on Ikakumon, but Matt is not having it. He's just ignoring him throughout the hike. Joe is saying it's like living on a hammock. That's how you know Matt is losing his patience with Joe. He would rather suffer walking up the mountain than chill out on Ikakumon, which is described to be like a hammock. That's funny, I can't lie. They're going upwards and we see a mountain in the background, and Tai and his team are in the mountain area as well, so the teams should be teaming up very soon. These episodes with the teams being split up reminds me of the episodes when Devimon first split up the group from Fire Island back in the original series. You had Tai and Matt with Frigimon on Ice Island, Sora and Matt in the Bakuman Holiday, Izzy and Mimi in the Ancient Ruins, and TK in Primary Village. Those episodes back in the original season had growth and character development for the Digidestined, and it worked well back then. Matt opening up his fear for TK to Tai, Joe learning to be a leader, Izzy learning to understand another person's feelings. It had them slowly growing up back then, and here in these episodes we're doing the same thing, and I love it. Because here we're having each of the 6 Digidestined having episodes dedicated to themselves, whereas previously, other than Tai and Matt, the spotlight would always be shared in terms of characters' time to shine and grow. So it's really nice that the way they're doing it here, and especially for Izzy in this episode. We get an update of Tokyo and it's total anarchy and chaos over there. People are crashing into each other, fire trucks can't take out any fires, people are stuck in the elevators for God knows how long, because with technology now not working, people could be stuck for a good few hours now. This will only lead to people losing their minds even more now in this crisis. So the team really needs to pick up the pace to not only save the city, but save the people on their sanity as well. We go back to Tai's group walking through the mountain maze. Izzy's laptop is always shutting down. He says it's because of the signal, but I genuinely believe it could be because of the Sound Birdmon. We saw a little glimpse of one flying around not long after, so I'm guessing the Sound Birdmon is the one disrupting Izzy's laptop, because Devimon, I'm sure he must have seen how important Izzy is. So what's the best way to take Izzy out of the game? Take away his laptop. But I like this because now we're getting to see Izzy's character outside the laptop. I was just hoping we wouldn't see Izzy trying to make his body into doing the letters of the alphabet, like the last time when Kabuterimon digivolved to Megakabuterimon, when he lost all his curiosity and he basically became a vegetable. Thankfully we didn't see that version of Izzy, but we might in the future. You never know if he becomes evil or something. Oh, and speaking of that guys, next week I'm going to be releasing a new Digimon 2020 theory video talking about the possibility of having a Digimon Emperor in the 2020 series. So stay tuned for that guys. I'm telling you, you guys are going to love that. Trust me. Mimi finds these weird mirrors made out of the cave's minerals, but I can't lie, when Tai showed his face on screen, he looks like the Pokemon Ditto with that long ass face. We hear a roar from a monster Digimon, and from the mirror we see our old enemy Kuwagomon, and at least 5 of them at that, spitting out that dark miasma that is controlling them. Togemon, Greymon, and Kabuterimon are fighting the Kuwagomon. Greymon seems to be doing better against the Kuwagomon than Kabuterimon and Togemon. He threw one of the Kuwagomon into the wall while still keeping hold of him despite the impact of Kuwagomon hitting the wall. It took another Kuwagomon biting his leg for the Kuwagomon that was having a one-on-one with him to finally launch an attack on him. I think Greymon has been through the most battles so far, so it makes sense why Greymon is doing better against them than the other two. The other two are still on an even footing against the Kuwagomon, but Greymon took out at least 3 Tuskmon back in episode 6 and broke Ogremon's horn. This is a battle-hardened Greymon. He doesn't play around, and remember, we already saw him digivolving into Omnimon, so he should be stronger in comparison to the other partner Digimon. Izzy's face, he is in real shock, because for the first time he feels helpless and doesn't know what to do without his laptop. The laptop is his identity. It's like an addict not having their fix of whatever it is that they're addicted to. Without it, they're lost. This is what Izzy is facing. He buried himself into his laptop, and as a result, he lost his character in the process. He needs to dig deep and find the strength to push for the real Izzy, who is a leader in my opinion, to come out and take charge of the team. Togemon's coconut counter does back up Greymon, but they're all outnumbered and it's too much for them. We see the killer King Beetle himself, Okuwamon, and there's no Pyldramon this time to save the day. As they're trying to regroup, this just adds to the misery to Tai and his group. Izzy clocks that they're being hunted like how pack hunters like hyenas hunt their prey, with Okuwamon being the alpha of the pack. He figured out their flight patterns and everything else without his laptop, displaying his knowledge and his ability to read the situation. Think about this, guys. Izzy is a kid predicting the attack and flight patterns of killer mutant giant beetles. He's displaying an army soldier level of intellect in battle with his reading patterns, and that's without his laptop. He's a true genius and deserves to be one of the fan favorites. I love Okuwamon's design. It's the same silver that Atlurkabuterimon has on his skin, so it makes it feel like Okuwamon is metal. The size of him as well, he's an absolute monster, and the silver skin just makes it look more slick and give that feel that his skin is indestructible because of that silver. Okuwamon is tossing them around and they're all surrounded, and Izzy's laptop is still not working. He needs to learn to think fast and plan ahead without relying on his laptop, because I feel the laptop can be a prison for him. He needs to be set free from the laptop once in a while so he doesn't lose his identity. Izzy is separated from Tai and Mimi, which is good because we get more screen time on Izzy, and in general Izzy always does better when he is by himself, like early on in the season when he's stuck in the network world. He's a lone survivor and a team player all in one. Mimi saying she hates the Kuwagomon made me laugh. Straight after she says that, the Kuwagomon then attacks her. That was really funny, I like that. We had Kabuterimon and Izzy briefly escape, and Izzy is still lost without his laptop. Kabuterimon starts to notice this, but then the silver nightmare appears and punches Kabuterimon out of the air. Kabuterimon is showing the Digimon spirit with his elbows, but Okuwamon doesn't even flinch. Okuwamon dominates Kabuterimon. It was sad seeing this because for me, out of all the partner Digimon, especially in the champion form, which most of the time the partner Digimon are in their champion form when in battle, Kabuterimon for me has the most personality, so it was sad seeing him helpless and getting annihilated, whilst Izzy for the first time in Digimon 2020 being absolutely useless. This was shocking to see. It's like Izzy is in a trance state of mind and doesn't know how to get out. Okuwamon catches Kabuterimon with both pincers, and despite being in a world of pain, he still gives a pep talk to Izzy, saying the most important thing about Izzy is his genius brain. You always have the Digidestined being the ones giving the pep talk to their partner Digimon to never give up and to push them to being stronger mentally and physically, which is why it's so refreshing to see Kabuterimon, the partner Digimon of Izzy, being the one to give advice and push Izzy to becoming stronger mentally. Kabuterimon is like Izzy's older brother. That's why I say Kabuterimon has the most personality out of all the partner Digimon in their champion form. He's funny and inspiring as a character. He finally puts the laptop away and starts taking charge like a real leader. He tells Kabuterimon to shoot on the right hand side of the mountain, which as a result had all the rubble fall on Okuwamon, which allowed them to escape. They escape, and Izzy confesses that him always being the one helping everyone else, he forgot about himself outside the monitor screen, with the beaming light shining on him as he realizes this. It's like the birth of a leader within Izzy, and I think he's starting to realize that himself as he is guiding Kabuterimon to find the others. As Izzy is displaying knowledge and fast intellect without his laptop, Kabuterimon then digivolves to Megakabuterimon. he digivolves a little too quick, and I'm talking about the digivolution sequence here. It's quite fast, but it's fine. It's still earned and it's still epic. Quick question, guys. Do you guys prefer to see the digivolution sequence or their bodies turning into data and growing? What do you guys prefer? Please let me know down in the comments. Togemon and Greymon are outnumbered and are getting dominated. We see our king of beetles killing one of the Kuwagomon with his hands in one strike. Now we see the main event. Megakabuterimon vs Okuwamon. Whilst you have the undercard of Greymon and Togemon vs Kuwagomon. I love the scene where Greymon uses both of his legs to pin down the Kuwagomon with each of his legs. That was madness to see and just badass on Greymon's part. Izzy is showing his true leadership qualities, telling Tai and Mimi to use the mirrors to confuse the Kuwagomon. It's as if the laptop was the thing that was holding him back from his true potential as a leader. Ever since he put the laptop away, we have been seeing another side to Izzy, and I love it, and I'm sure all you Izzy fans are loving it as well. His plan works as Togemon uses her chiki chiki bang bang, killing another Kuwagomon. Metal Greymon decides to join the ultimate party and kills the remaining Kuwagomon. Metal Kabuterimon starts punching and kicking the shit out of Okuwamon. It's as if he's in the octagon. Then with his final attack, Horn Buster, to bust Okuwamon once and for all. Izzy's laptop is finally working again, but now we saw the monster potential Izzy has as a character. Tai and Matt, you better watch out. There's a superstar in Izzy that's waiting to come out. I love how the episode ends with Matt only going on Kabuterimon as soon as Joe shuts up and falls asleep. That is hilarious. Now let's go over the bad. And it's just a little nitpick really. In the middle of the episode, Kabuterimon and Izzy somehow managed to escape off screen. How did they do that? In the previous episode, early on in the season, we saw Tai and Sora escaping into the jungle. Again, how did they escape? I don't like that they're doing it off screen because I actually want to see them escape. It brings a thrill and a relief to see them escaping danger. So yeah, that's my little nitpick for this episode. Overall, it was another excellent episode. And I know there's a new ending theme out and I will talk about that in another video. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our content. And as always, care for nothing.